Hi guys, it's Helga from Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking, and today is a Pennsylvania Dutch recipe day. I know other places make chili sauce, but probably not quite like PA Dutch chili sauce. PA Dutch chili sauce has no chilies in it. It does have bell peppers in it though, and because I like mine a little bit on the spicier side, I threw in a couple little ragtag cayenne, habanero, and jalapenos that I had left from my garden. The peppers are from my garden, the tomatoes are from my garden, so most of this came from my garden. Mangoes, I had to laugh because this is Mike's mom's recipe. She got it from her mother, it's handed down through the family, and it's very common amongst this area of what a chili sauce recipe looks like. But the peppers are called mangoes, and even her recipe card calls for mangoes. And that used to bug me for years when I came over this side of the river. And I couldn't figure out how in the heck you got, bell peppers like these, mangoes, the fruit. However, it turns out that mangoes, along with other fruit, were imported to the colonies from down south, and they had to be pickled to be preserved. And most fruits actually ended up being pickled, and so they started calling all pickled fruits mangoes, and it especially stuck with bell peppers. So it actually goes back to colonial times and is just a word of slang for this area, which mostly meant pickled stuff, but it still sticks on mangoes, it still sticks on bell peppers. Still drives me crazy though. So anyway, chili sauce. Chili sauce for us is a cross between like a ketchup and a relish. We use it probably the most when I make salmon cakes or some other fish dishes. You can use it on burgers or hot dogs. But it is really good, and its main components is tomatoes, peppers, celery, and onions. And then the pickling mixture, which we'll do in a bit, is sugar and vinegar and allspice and some pepper and good stuff like that. So what I've done here is I went and took half a peck of tomatoes, or roughly 12 nice sized ripe tomatoes, and I peeled them and diced them up small. And then to that I'm going to add half a bunch of chopped celery. Chop it up pretty fine. I have my peppers here, my mangoes, and you see I have some habanero, cayenne, and jalapeno that was left that I just chopped up really fine to throw in along with the bell peppers. And it took about four large bell peppers, calls for 6 onions, and the half a bunch of celery. And I cheated with the onions. That's what they make food processors for. I actually did the tomatoes by hand though. They just don't come out the same if you don't. Okie doke. Give this all a stir, and then we'll bring it up to a boil, and then turn it down to a simmer. And this is going to simmer on here for about 2 hours. And there's already quite a bit of water from the tomatoes, and then as you simmer this down it creates more liquid, so you don't have to add liquid to this. At least I've never had to. So I think it makes such a pretty condiment too. So there you can take a look, and we'll start simmering this down. Like I said, get this simmering for about 2 hours. Okay guys, it's been a couple hours, and this is cooked down pretty nice. You can see all the vegetables are tender. Just bring it forward a little bit here so you can see. And most of the liquid is cooked out of it, and it is pretty juicy. So now I'm going to add the rest of my goodies. So 1 1/4 cup sugar, a cup of vinegar, white vinegar, and a quarter teaspoon of ground cloves. Then I'm going to add a half teaspoon of allspice. And that's in. And I already added the real pepper, but we'll add just a touch red pepper. And that's it. I'm going to stir this in. Ooh, that smells good. Now that smells like jello sauce. Oh man. Oh, I wish they had smell-o-vision. Anyway, I'm going to let this simmer for another hour. And when I get done simmering it the second time with the spices and stuff in, I'm going to can it. I have my hot water getting ready here to sterilize my jars, and then I'll hot pack the jars and process. Okay guys, this is what it comes out looking like. Chunky but saucy. I've already filled 2 jars here with it because I'm going to process and can it. I've already sterilized my jars. Use my funnel and about half a scoop. About right. Here we go. Shake it up. And I will go and put my lid on like these ones, hand tight on the band, and then I'll process in water bath for 20 minutes. This is hot pack, meaning that the liquids and stuff that we put in the jars are already hot, which is recommended for high acid foods that contain tomatoes and such. Cold packing is when you put the raw vegetables in and put it in that way to process. And we'll be back when they come out. Well guys, it's all out. The jello sauce is done. Taste tested it last night and it was really good. This jello sauce is a bit on the sweet side normally. I did add some cayenne, little habanero, and jalapeno, like one of each that were left over from my garden. And here you can see what it looks like in the jar. And it did give it quite a bit of heat. Not terrible, but you could definitely feel the slight heat to it. So that's the jello sauce. So happy they all sealed. So, and I like making this in the small batches like this just because we do use it as a condiment most often when I make salmon cakes, and when I do salmon cakes, we'll pop it open and you can see how to make it then too. So that's it for making jello sauce, PA Dutch style. Till next time. Bye guys.